first act was a personal attack on my outfit choice. It hurts, but I liked it. Hold on, I have like a weird thing with like that. Okay. Hi, I'm Amanda-Faye. I am not a top, which is really, really obvious if you know me. But I'm gonna read a little bit about what's up top. Thanks, guys. I'm trying to start to think about working on these pieces of small works that are like about beauty products that have formed my life. I know that sounds, you'll see. Anyways, and so this is about like the prompt is sort of a specific beauty product, but it's mostly about my terrible tits. And I know what you're thinking, Amanda, that dress won't button. We can all see that you have great cans, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. But what you don't know is that much like a can of Dr. Pepper that has a severed thumb in it, these cans are hiding a terrible secret. And I think, I mean, honestly, we laugh. Please laugh at my pain, because if you don't, then I don't exist. It's just sad, but funny. So please laugh at this, but what I'm going to tell you is it's not just that they sag, okay? It's that my nipples and my toes spotted each other across a crowded room. And now they're in a long-distance relationship. They can just like see each other every night when I take my clothes off. And that is, okay, here's the thing. I say stuff about me, but if that's you too, then let us, it's not on you, it's on me. Anyway, the point is, this story has a sort of happy ending, like the Dr. Pepper thing, in which like you win the lawsuit. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to be, I wrote this today. I've never actually, I've talked to, I have no shame. So I think I probably told you this, but I don't know if I've ever actually written about it, and so I'm gonna read it. It's gonna be fun. In 1990, none of your business, I was an 11-year-old beauty guru. This didn't have the same meaning then that it does now, when kids that age can beat their full-faced flawless and sped up videos with hundreds of thousands of views. Back then, it meant I read Teen and 17 magazine cover to cover, pored over the beauty catalogs that came in the mail, and had a caboodle's case filled to the brim with drugstore makeup and high-end gift with purchase discards from my mom and aunts. If I'm being honest, I was a little spoiled when it came to products. I think my family was relieved that this little weirdo who brought teen horror books to Disneyland and had like 3 friends had an interest that seemed normal enough. Little did they know, as a femme, it was actually my gayest interest. At this age, I'd become particularly interested in, sorry, I'm drinking alcohol and it's, I don't know if you know this, but it's not that hydrating. Shocking turn of events. I thought that tequila could do everything. Not hydrate. At this age, I'd become particularly interested in my skincare routine. I already had those huge nose pores that made everyone who had to look at you very upset, according to advertisements. And my face was only going to get worse from there, most likely inflating into a giant pimple, then deflating into a wrinkled leather bag by the time I was 19. So preventative measures were a must. Sorry to keep adjusting this microphone, but like, I think I don't know what I'm doing. It all comes back together. It's thematic. Sorry. There were a lot of things I wish I knew then that I know now. And I'm going to go ahead and be frank and say that a good 85% of those things are beauty related. I got a product called St. Ives Swiss Formula Cucumber and Elastin Eye Stress Gel. Oh, no. Which was for refreshing and firming the eye area. As it turns out, applying elastin, a protein similar to collagen, typically topically on the skin will not actually firm or help it become more elastic, as it claimed on the packaging. It makes sense that a product that could work such miracles was actually mostly junk, because it was inexpensive and came in a huge squeeze bottle. But the formula was elegant enough. The gel inside was super thick, cooling, and smelled deliciously of fresh cucumbers. So naturally, I slathered it all over my face, and eventually, my breasts. My tits started growing in when I was 8, and by the time I was a preteen, I was nearly a B cup. The problem was they were coming in funny. I didn't know exactly how I knew this. Perhaps scrambled Cinemax, late night at summer parties, or stolen glances of Elizabeth Berkley's God-level cans and showgirls. But I knew something wasn't right, and I was obsessed with the idea that I could make it right before they were fully grown in and it was too late. This, of course, wasn't true, but a lot of things in the pursuit of beauty aren't true. And even now, it can take twice as many clicks around the web to figure that out than it will to learn the entire biography of even the most obscure celebrity, or access a comprehensive graphic list of chronological deaths on Mount Everest. This is one of my favorite late night hobbies. You die on the descent, mostly. Even in the consumer's world of beauty and fashion retail, there has been what seems like a somewhat meaningful shift in terms of availability and diversity. Since body acceptance is trending, it seems like there are a lot of different directions nipples can point that are acceptable to humanity. But my writing ballot for straight down never seems to gain traction. I remember reading in one of my teen magazines about breast shapes. Don't worry, it said, your shape is normal. They can be big and round like melons, or small and pert like the ones on Roman statues, or conical torpedoes pointing out of your sweater like a 1950s bombshell. Now there are online companies that will help you pick a style based on more inclusive and realistic descriptions of breast shape as well as size. Scrolling through, I see apples, teardrops, bells, but I'm not seeing 2 Santa hats filled with pudding. Not really that inclusive. Very festive. Every day in my shirt. I make jokes about it, but I was terrified then of having the breasts I have now. I read another fashion magazine. Why was I able to get my hands on that filth, like at such a young age? I read another fashion magazine that a good way to firm your breast tissues is, at the end of your shower, blast them for several minutes with cold water. I did this every day. I wasn't stupid, but I was just a kid. I really believed that I could change myself this way, just as I believed that if I prayed hard enough, maybe God would make me grow into my face, or, well, change it completely. Aww. That's pretty young. I can talk about this openly now, not because I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm deeply ashamed. I've never shown my full breast to anyone I wasn't fucking, and even that is never easy. I realized that for most people, actually wrote this down, but then I was like, I feel like I gotta tell you this. I'm gonna read it. Okay, I realized that for most people, that might sound pretty reasonable. But have you ever been to a lesbian hot tub party? First of all, if you haven't, I'm really sorry. So fun. Secondly, sure, it's totally fine to leave your top on if you're not comfortable with that. But I want to take my top off. I'm not modest. I just know my twins don't look like anyone else's. They barely look like each other. And my friends would be wonderful and supportive, but I can tell you right now that the only thing worse than disgust is kindness with a dash of pity. This is the part where we get, really serious. Okay. I still cry about it sometimes. I stand in front of the mirror before I take a shower and lift myself into the shape I want to be. Yes, I'm still ashamed. I'm not writing about this because I'm not ashamed, but because if I didn't, that shame and all the other internalized body hatred would eat me alive. It would kill me, and I'm not going out like that. I don't believe you have to have self-love to have self-acceptance, but I know you have to find things you love about yourself to accept yourself. Low nipples on huge tits make great cleavage. My nips are pretty cool. Low nips are pretty cool. They're not shy, but they tend to speak only when they're called upon. I keep my chapstick under one boob, a lighter under the other, and I successfully sneaked a pint of tequila and a slim can of wine into the club at the same time. You drink the wine after the hard liquor. No, before. Okay, sorry, I'm almost done. Sorry, I know this is going long. Acknowledging this fear and shame and making jokes about it starts to heal that desperate little girl standing under the ice-cold shower, spackling her breast stretch marks with useless eye gel, waiting for everything about her to be different. Thank you guys so much.